fucking years of feminism, you still complain. After men lose their children, and I think it's 80% of the cases, women are the ones giving custody of the children, you still complain. After all the laws enacted to defend only women in cases of sexual misconduct or rape, women are given all the benefit of the doubt. They're always believed. Men can't even know who their accusers are, as if to say any woman who accuses a man of rape is not lying and cannot lie. You still have the audacity to make a video complaining. I can't take it. I can't. But let's continue.
That we have no right to complain. Certainly, yes, things are better than they were.
Well, I'm glad someone said it.
No one's going to deny that. But it remains that men and women are still not equal.
Okay, are you talking about equality or are you talking about rights? Because I understand rights and equality to be the same thing, but I know that feminists don't. See, feminists see that although in the eyes of the law we are equal, except where it favors women, of course, as long as we don't have equal outcomes, we are not truly equal, which is completely stupid. People have decisions to make throughout their lives. If one sex tends to make one sort of decision that leads to one sort of outcome, whereas another sex differs, that is not fucking oppression. That is an outcome to a diverse society of people who make their own choices. Get it through your head.
All around the world, women are routinely beaten, raped, humiliated, stalked, bought and sold, belittled, mutilated, and subjugated. And why? Because they're women.
No, stupid. Oh my God. There are countries in this world that are emphatically retarded. There are countries in this world whereby if you steal something, people cut your fucking hands off. It is not because they're a woman. It is because they've been perceived to make some sort of fault to society, be it cheating on their husbands or whatever. And I'm not saying it's their fault. Women can be accused of things in other countries, I'm sure you're referring to the Middle East, and not have to prove, no one has to prove anything, and unless there's, I don't know how many men have to be present to actually advocate that a woman's actually been raped. That's not fair. But here's the thing, you idiot, you have to get through your head. It is not my fault. The men in our society, the men in your country and the men in our country, are not the ones causing their pain. If anything, we are trying by fucking having wars against those countries and bringing fucking democracy to those countries, we are making a difference. And as far as that goes, let's talk about social media for a second, because it's been given all the credit for the Arab Spring, for example. Facebook has done more to liberate women than all of feminism combined as far as the Middle East goes, as far as bringing democracy to that country, which will lead to equal rights for women. And will lead to equal rights for all fucking people, which is what you should be advocating for, not just women. So, if you're going to extrapolate, saying that the few men who actually do commit rape in our country are the ones who make everybody a rapist, by which you can exclude men from actually going to domestic violence centers, for example, because they're all considered violent. If you're going to make that extrapolation, then I can sit here and say that since a man invented Facebook and Facebook led to the fucking Arab Spring Revolution, whatever, then men have brought democracy through Facebook and also wars to those countries. I can do it too. It's a two-way street. It's a nice little trick. It's full of bullshit, but hey, you do it.
Rapecrisis.org.uk tells
Oh my God, listen to the name of this place. Rape Crisis. Oh, here we go.
Around 21% of girls and 11% of boys experience some form of child sexual abuse. 23% of women and 3% of men experience sexual assault as an adult. 5% of women and 0.4% of men experience rape. There is a huge imbalance in the statistics.
And? No, honestly, and. If you're trying to say that rape is bad, I agree. Rape is bad. I also say that all sort of violence is bad, but I understand that you don't really care about other sorts of violences because, as we know, men are the primary victims of every other form of violence and violence in general other than rape, because we don't count, prison rape, for example. So I know you only care about rape, so I'm gonna go to that. And exactly what's your point? See, there are only two sexes to choose of. Well, you can't really choose, you're just born one. So you either suffer one form of violence or you're going to suffer another form of violence. Have your pick. Would you rather be murdered, assaulted, any other form of violence, or would you rather be raped? There's no one can make that distinction. No one can have a choice in this. No one can say, well, rape is worse, or murder is worse, or assault is worse. No thinking person can actually presume to know which one's worse. And still, I'm supposed to feel bad because, women, suffer more rape than men, while men suffer more other forms of violence than women. Men compose, what is it? Let me see here. 98% of the war dead. That's all men. You forgot to mention that. I'm sure you know it. You just forgot to mention it. Let's continue. 80% of suicide are all male, but still you forgot to mention it. By that definition, by your definition, that is oppression. Sure, it is stupid to think that all those suicides are being caused by women. I'm sure a lot of them are, but not all. But by your definition of oppression, I can claim that is oppression. The 98% war dead, again, oppression. Sure, it would be stupid to think so because it's not women doing these killings, but by your definition of oppression, that is oppression. 93% of all work-related deaths are male. But hell, let's continue.
And those are statistics that shouldn't even exist in the first place.
Oh, right? Women shouldn't suffer any sort of violence in the first place? People suffer violences. Why should women be more protected than others? No violence. What you're supposed to say is that there should be no violence. But those statistics, why shouldn't they exist? Why can't women have violence in their lives? Why is it that only men can suffer violence in your view? No violence should exist. That's what I say. That's what men's rights activists say. And this is the basic difference between men's rights activists and feminism. We are against all violence, including, but not limited to, violence against men. Whereas your movement, you could give a fuck.
The website also tells us that the overall cost to society of sexual offences in 2003 to 2004 was estimated at £8.5 billion, with each rape costing over £76,000.
You're having money put into laws and law enforcement to stop rape. That's a good thing. It is a great thing that society is seeing fit to invest in stopping crime. Well, not crime in general, just a specific form of crime. Screw all the other forms of crime. We're putting so much money into it, and still, what has society not done to stop rape? Do you think that there are people in this world, in your country, in my country, that actually think that rape is okay? Are you stupid? And this is not against this person in the video specifically. I'm talking about feminists in general. I'm just using, again, I've said this before, using this as a platform to talk to feminists in general. This is not directed at her. To feminists in general. You must be stupid to think that the problem with rape is that men and women don't know that it's a bad thing.
Much of this cost is made up of lost output and cost to the health service resulting from long-term health issues faced by victims. According to a news report on BBC One, presented in the 12th of November 2007, there were 85,000 women raped in the UK in the previous year, equating to about 230 cases every day.
We all know that these statistics are wildly out of proportion. Why? Because you have to remember that the definition of rape is not a woman being attacked in the back of an alley. No. Sure, that is some of the cases. However, remember that if you have willing sex with a man and there was alcohol involved and the next day you regret it, you can claim that you've been raped. If you cannot produce the rapist and you just claim that you've been raped without anyone ever knowing about it, that is also included. Without any evidence of any kind, if you claim that you've been raped, that is also included in these statistics. There is no enforcement, there is no political power or movement trying to stop women from falsely accusing men of rape. Without that incentive to stop attacking men, you will always have disproportionate and unrealistic rape statistics. And even if they aren't, again, why do we care more about that than we do the crimes suffered by men? I do not understand. I don't.
According to that report, 1 of every 200 women in the UK was raped in 2006. The report also shows that only 800 persons were convicted in rape crimes that same year. That's from Wikipedia. The Wikipedia page provides worldwide statistics that I won't go into here. But you are, of course, welcome to check them out for yourself, and you should. They're quite eye-opening.
What is eye-opening about rape? We've been being fed the rape epidemic statistics since, I don't know, since we were kids. Since everybody was a child, really. In every modern country, we have the same statistics and the same rape scare and the same rape epidemic conferences. There's nothing new. Rape continues to happen even after society has done everything in its power to stop it. As long as we live in a free world, there are going to be people who are crazy, who are criminals, who do not believe in having a normal relationship and instead commit crimes of sexual nature. It is always going to happen. It has nothing to do with oppression. It has to do with fucking human nature. Men are not born rapists. There is not an anti-rape shot. And why should there be, while there's other crimes in this world that claim lives and you don't care, you couldn't give a fuck about it.
And these statistics don't even include the thousands of women too afraid to come forward about their ordeal every single day.
Actually, a lot of them do. There are a lot of statistics out there that sort of calculate the women who don't come forward, which is surprising to me, because if they don't come forward and nobody knows about it and it's under down low and no one ever finds out, still we're told that they're out there. And another thing, rape is the only violent crime that, although all other forms of violent crimes in modern countries have gone down since, I don't remember the year, 1980 something, I don't know, have consistently come down. That is, assault, murder, every other form of violence has dropped significantly. Rape continues to rise. Isn't that kind of funny? Isn't that kind of curious? Of course, the changing definition of rape couldn't have anything to do with that, now could it?
Of every single week, of every single month, of every single year.
Yes. We've all heard it before. Women are raped all day, every day, 5 times a day, and twice on Sundays. Yeah, we know it.
Another website, womensaid.org, estimates that 1 in 4 UK women will experience domestic abuse in their lifetime. Wolby and Allen's 2004 document, Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault and Stalking, Findings from the British Crime Survey, found that 54% of UK rapes are carried out by a woman's current or former partner, and women are much more likely than men to be the victim of multiple incidents of abuse. And of sexual violence, 32% of women who had ever experienced domestic abuse did so 4 or 5 or more times, compared with only 11% of the smaller number of men who had ever experienced domestic violence.
That is not oppression. Are you dumb? Again, 93% of work deaths, male. 80% of suicides, male. 98% of war deaths, male. How is that oppression? And how is it not oppression? I mean, which one is it? Because if we're going to say that the fact that one sex suffers more a form of crime as oppression, if that's what we're going to set as the definition for oppression, then men are much, much more likely